Welcome back to some new r/malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter, but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. The first story is called Sushi Compliance. Quite a few years ago, I did a sushi class at a culinary school. It was for enthusiasts, but it wasn't your average basic class. It lasted 1 week, Monday to Friday, 8 AM to 2 PM. We learned everything from rice making to filleting fish. It was really cool. After 2 PM, we typically ate the sushi we prepared with the professor. Or if you had to leave, put it in a recipient and take it with you. There was this lady, let's call her Mean Sushi, who didn't stay to eat the sushi, and she didn't took it either. It was rather odd. Come Friday, the last day, during our mid-morning break, we asked her about this, and she told us that the class was her final act of malicious compliance against her soon-to-be ex-husband. She said something like this: "I hate sushi, I can't stand it, but my husband loves it, it's his favorite food. I'm a stay-at-home wife, and I've cooked for both of us every single day we've been married. Husband has always been very vocal about me not cooking sushi for him, and whenever we go out, it typically is to a sushi place, and I have to have whatever is on the menu that's not sushi. Last time we went out to a sushi place with friends, one of the friends asked me about the sushi thing. My husband replied, 'Oh, she's not that into it, but I'll bet she'd grow into it if she starts eating and cooking it regularly.' I've told her several times about the sushi class that I wanted her to attend. I'm pretty sure that if she understands how it's made, she'll end up loving it. I said yes for the first time, and God knows how many times he's asked me to take the sushi class. He was ecstatic, and on the way back home, he told me, 'I knew that if I insisted enough, you'd finally see my point.' What he didn't know is that I've already filed the divorce papers. They are being delivered today. And I intend to post photos of myself making sushi and gorgeous homemade sushi dishes for weeks once I leave the house until the divorce is over." The next story is called Close the Account. This happened a few years ago. I work at a local credit union and back office support. Most of my direct member contact is through the online chat and message systems. I have never worked in a branch. One day I get a message from this dude demanding to know where his new debit card is. Not asking, demanding. I check and let him know that it was mailed about 2 weeks ago and he should have it by now. I would be happy to mail him a new one, or he could come into our branch and we could print him a new one on the spot. He asked to have one mailed. I verify his address and mail him a new card, thinking that was the end of it. He was less than a 10-minute walk from one of our branches, and maybe a 5-minute drive, but whatever. You wanna wait for the mail? Be my guest. A week later, he messages back, enraged that he has not gotten his card yet. I let him know it could take about 5 to 10 business days. They are sent regular mail, we have no tracking on them, etc. And that he is welcome to come into our branch to get one printed right now, if he would like. He was not a fan of that. He tells me that I personally have caused him to get fees, and that I need to refund all $200+ fees. I looked at the fees. They have nothing to do with the card. They are all online gambling sites linked directly to his account and routing number. This would be in addition to the $100+ we have already refunded for the year. Here's the thing. If you ask me nicely, I will probably move heaven and earth to get fees refunded, even if we have already refunded the max limit for you that year. We are all human. I get it. And I do feel that some fees charged are stupid and morally objectionable. If you demand I refund you fees, the odds of those getting refunded just drop by like 99%. So I tell him that I will not be refunding his fees, and he cusses me out. It always makes me laugh when I get cussed at over chat and messages, because someone took the time to type it out and capitalize it. He tells me to just close his account then, if I refuse to help him. So there are a few things that we need to send a request to close an account. The account needs to be positive. His was, but barely. Have no loans on it, including credit cards. Not have a balance over a certain amount. No danger there. And we need the address verified, which he had done when I sent him a new card. So I say, I'm sorry to see you go, but I understand that you need to do what is best for you financially. And I sent a request to close his account, and then I wait. A week or so later, I get a call from a teller at our branch. They have this gentleman in front of them, outraged that his account was closed and asking what happened. I let the teller know that he sent a profane request to close the account, so I sent the request to our back office to be processed. She relayed this and he starts calling me a liar, telling the teller that he never cussed at me and he for sure never asked to close the account. Not sure if he thought that we just delete messages and have no records. Anyway, I take screenshots of our messages, send them over to the teller and listen as she shows him them on her computer. I can hear her trying not to laugh as he goes, "Oh, well, yes." And she thanks me and ends the call. Later, she messaged me telling me that he apologized for cussing, that we reopened his accounts, and that she has never had to stifle laughter that hard before. The third story is called Allergic Reaction. This happened earlier this year in a fast food job. To be fair, my managers were really awesome about letting people take sick days if needed, but upper management had been getting on them about this. The manager this happened with was just as exasperated as I was about it. I have gotten a microcut on my arm that got infected. It looked and acted like a pimple, but hurt and wouldn't go away, no matter what I did. I finally went to the doctor when it started turning purple, because I was concerned. I was put on a medication that I turned out to be allergic to. On day 9 of the medication, I had a full head-to-toe rash, just swollen and itchy, and I had a shift the next day. I called my manager, and she, following the new policy, told me that either I needed to find someone to cover my shift or come in anyway. She said she'd check on me before my shift to assess how bad it was. There wouldn't be any actual risk to guests, it just didn't look good. Lo and behold, I couldn't get the shift covered on such short notice. I had wrapped my whole body, because having a layer over the rash stopped the itching. So I dressed casual, put my work clothes in a bag and got there 30 minutes early. I walked in and the manager looked at me, still wrapped, though I had unwrapped my head, and said, "Yeah, you are not working today. Let me know when you are ready to order." The best part was that one of the directors was in the break area, and he was stunned to see an employee in my condition was even at work that day. We talked and they started allowing a bit more leniency on callouts. The next story is called Have to Come In. This happened almost a year ago. I used to earn some pocket money as a tutor working with K-12 kids in an after-school program. Last fall I got the flu. I was definitely sick and definitely contagious. The problem was I couldn't call off work as I couldn't speak. I texted and emailed my boss at 9 AM to let them know. The shift started at 4 PM. 4 hours later, 1 PM, they replied, "Sorry, we can't find someone to take over for you. Guess you'll have to come in." I sat there panicking because I didn't want to get the kids sick and make myself worse by working with kids. I begged them to reconsider. No dice. I texted coworkers to see if someone could trade shifts. No luck. Then I remembered an interesting policy. Tutors were required to be there 20 minutes before their first student arrived, so they could get the area ready. I also remembered I was the first person scheduled, meaning that when I got there, I would be the only person there besides administration. I purposely didn't take any medicine for the rest of the day. My symptoms went from annoying to bad. I was hacking. My eyes looked glassy. I was extremely pale. Whole shebang. I then put on 3 masks, changed my clothes and put on 2 layers of gloves. No reason to get the kids sick, although they were probably the ones to give it to me in the first place. Then I walked into the admin's office, sounding like I had the plague. A perfectly timed sneeze and coughing fit hit me just as I approached the open door. Her office was quite long, so I never got within 10 feet of her. Still, she looked panicked as I croaked, "Well, I am here." Amazingly, she found a way to take over my students that day. I was in the building for less than 5 minutes. The next story is called Saving $4. My employment involves fairly regular travel. My employer has pre-approved rates with hotels, but occasionally, due to availability, that rate may not be available. In that case, you simply get individual approval from a higher level supervisor for the increased amount. I had to travel when there were a number of events going on, so our approved rate wasn't available. I made multiple calls to the hotel, as it's one I've stayed at frequently. They agreed to drop the rate to just $4 above our approved rate. Great. I emailed my direct supervisor and the person I needed approval from. Shocker. My employer wouldn't approve the higher rate. They informed me that I needed to obtain the approved rate and suggested I stay at a place I was nearly guaranteed to get bed bugs. Wasn't going to happen, but they told me to just find anywhere that would accept our rate. I called another hotel in a touristy area, nearly 2 hours from where I needed to be. I stayed at this property frequently, and they were more than happy to meet our approved rate. The kicker is, because it's in a high demand location, the approved rate was nearly double the rate of the previous hotel. Additionally, my meal allowance was also significantly higher. The most costly part to my employer is that because I now had a 2-hour drive one way, they had to pay me 4 hours of overtime on top of the other travel costs. I ran my plans through my direct supervisor, who just laughed and gave his verbal approval. Because everything was at the approved rate, it was all approved automatically. I enjoyed my amazing dinner with a great view. The next story is called Taco Tuesday. The wife and I didn't feel like cooking tonight or like going out. We decided to get tacos from our local chain restaurant that's known for doing Taco Tuesday promotions, does takeout and is located in a hotel. First time doing this, but we eat in here probably once or twice a month. We have never taken Taco Tuesday up to this point, so we weren't aware of the following. I walk in and up to the bar and ask if I can get tacos to go. I am informed that Taco Tuesday is dine-in only, and thus they can't sell me any of the sale price tacos to go. But they can sell me tacos from the regular menu for regular price. The same tacos. That's fine. I sit down, I say. I sit at the nearest 2-seat booth. The server comes over and I order 4 tacos. Anything else, he asked? No. Anything to drink? Water is fine. I sip on the water while I wait for the food, maybe 5 minutes all told. When the 2 plates of tacos arrive, I ask for the check. I eat 1 taco in the time it takes for the server to get my bill and do a few other tables, so I am not rushing by any means. As he takes the payment, he laughs and says, "I guess you're gonna need a to-go box." The last story is called As Long As You Work Here. Many years ago, I worked in hospitality at a friendly local bar with good staff, locals and management. All in all, a pretty good gig. My girlfriend at the time was studying about 5 hours drive away and was an ex-workmate at the same bar. We'd worked together over the summer and then got together once university started. Our local sports team had a game coming up in a couple of months playing in her city. It was always a big party night in a student town, so I decided to get tickets and take the weekend off to spend time together. Dolly put my leave request in, and with 6 weeks to go, it was accepted by management. Everything was looking good for a great long weekend away with her. Nearly a month later, on our first day 15 days out from the big event, my boss came to me and said he had decided to attend the game. So he was cancelling my leave and I would have to do closing shifts over that weekend. I argued he had accepted my leave. I already had tickets and had also booked accommodation for some sweet aftermatch interaction, so this wouldn't work. This was when he uttered, "As long as you work here, you have to work that weekend." I instantly saw the solution, literally grabbed a napkin off the bar and wrote my resignation out under his nose and handed it to him. He refused to accept it. I informed him that it would be foolish to not have cover for me starting in 14 days, as that was my notice period and I was going regardless of whether he accepted or not. I had a marvelous weekend away. He had to work that weekend, as he was unable to replace me. When I bumped into his wife a week after returning home, she told me he had been slammed on game night and they still hadn't replaced me. She eventually asked me if I could come back. We agreed to a meeting time and had a good chat about things, and I got offered my old job back with a pay bump. I ended up working for him for another 4 years with no drama after that. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And if you have time, watch another one of my videos. And now, I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.